Today, I talk about autoimmune disease. If you hear this, it sounds like very difficult. In the old days, Korean people wouldn't get this kind of a sickness. But these days, there are a lot of autoimmune disease. Back then, when I was a medical school student, young children get diabetes are ridiculous. It wouldn't happen that at all. But recently, the kids get diabetes, don't they? Adult diabetes and childhood diabetes, children with diabetes are completely different. I taught adult disease in this program, but the cause of the childhood diabetes are totally different. How do the children get sick? There is autoimmune here. Immune. We have an immune system in our body. The immune system is in charge of white blood cells. There are various of kinds of white blood cells among white blood cells. The most important among them is T cell, T lymphocytes. But the T lymphocytes have been degenerated. Originally, the T lymphocytes are supposed to kill cancer cells or the virus get into our body, such as hepatitis B or hepatitis C virus or the influenza and the AIDS virus. A very important program to kill these important virus input in the T lymphocyte and T cells. The program that's the input we call genes, right? But the program is degenerating. Eventually, the genes become degenerated. The genes were at the genes in the T cell. The program in the T cell, when the T cell is degenerated, the T cell becomes slightly crazy. So the T lymphocytes, T cell, which originally have to kill the cancer cells, now what? The disease that kill myself, so we call autoimmune disease. Well, let's take a look at the picture first. When you look at this, what is this with this kid? They drew some kind of the organ in the belly. It's pancreas. We magnified and look like this by a microscope and look at this. In the pancreas, there are purple cells. These are yellow cells. Those yellow cells produce digestive substances. When you eat a lot of protein, meat, the cells that produce the digestive substance to digest the protein or fat in the meat are those yellow cells. But what are these purple cells? It's very important. Those purple cells are the ones that produce insulin. That's a special cell. It's also called beta cells. You don't have to memorize for that. It's very healthy now. Beta cells, insulin producing the cells now live well. Those ones look good and healthy too, don't they? But under the autoimmune phenomenon occurs. What is the meaning of that? The kid's T lymphocyte that are responsible for the kid's the immune system. For example, this is a cancer cell. Cancer cells are occurred every day in our human body, no matter whose bodies are. The cancer cells are on the verge of attacking cancer cells now. While you don't know, the cancer cells occur in your body, and while you don't know, the T cell attack cancer cells and kill them. So there is a program, gene that produce the substance that kill the cancer cells in the T cells. What it turns on, it happened like this. As the T lymphocyte itself becomes longer and wider than the produced lymphotoxin. Cancer cells were originally the shape of like this. What happens now? Like this, they are knocked out and dying. While you don't know nothing, the important program is processing. While you don't know at all, without consciousness. Raise your hands if you do it yourself. Oh, cancer cells occurred over there. Raise your hands. If you raise your hands, I'll send you to the mental hospital. The precious T lymphocyte. We doctors didn't know such a program for a long time. There are the awesome program input in our cells that our human intelligence and ability can't figure out. Such program we call genes. If you use the program well or the being preserved well, then you can keep healthy. While you live until 35, it worked well as it was originally input in the program. Strangely, the T lymphocyte has changed since you are 35. The gene is starting to change gradually. The T lymphocyte is supposed to attack to the cancer cells or virus. It attacks me, that kind of disease. What's going on then? The degenerated T lymphocyte is attacking. These are the T lymphocytes, those blue ones, they are T lymphocytes. They came and attacked the purple cells, the cells that are producing the insulin. They started to attack them blindly. As they started to attack the purple cells, died and they become the pitch black cells. It was attacked and died. In a little while, what happened to the purple cells? They all died. Only the yellow cells remains, right? When this happened, this kid won't produce anymore. The kid can't produce insulin anymore. This is childhood diabetes. When 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old kids got diabetes, that is the case of this. So case of adult is different from this. So childhood diabetes is different from adult diabetes. So what kind of disease? It's an autoimmune disease. Eventually, an autoimmune disease is my own T lymphocyte, as it is originally input to protect myself and to make the increase of resist and not to get cancer, so as not to get hepatitis. The input T lymphocyte that is supposed to do this, becoming crazy and attack me and destroy myself. Such a disease that cause inflammation are called autoimmune disease. There are innumerable kinds of autoimmune disease. There are so many kinds. What is common disease among autoimmune disease, folks? Rheumatoid arthritis. Young women get a lot. Of course, men get it as well. And what is the next one? The young women get autoimmune diseases. Why do you think? Alopecia areata, the disease that the young women get a lot. There are countless diseases. These days, a lot of young women get alopecia areata. So aren't there many the young women who do wear caps and wigs? Why it happened? The T lymphocyte become the degenerated and it goes up here and go kill here the follicle the cells like this. It's very important disease that get sick myself. Then these days there are more the young women like this. Tears won't come out, right? Eyes keep drying out and what happened to the mouth? Mouth keep getting dry and sticky. You met someone you know on the street and try to say hello, but the mouth is sticky and won't open. So drink a lot of water and put the artificial tears to the eyes. There are so many these kinds of disease. It happened. Your own T lymphocytes become degenerated and attack your salivary glands and tear glands and destroy them. So tear won't produce well and no saliva. That kind of the disease, what that is. Then folks, however, there are too many diseases. Psoriasis occurred on the skin, or atopic dermatitis also has some autoimmunity. What is the meaning of that is your T lymphocyte is degenerated and kill the skin cells. The skin cells are constantly dying and they become crumbly. When you stroke the skin like this, what happens to fall off like scales? Then lupus. And there is a disease called lupus. In Korean, we say the name is pretty funny, isn't it? If you speak very funny. What kind of disease is that? The capillaries that are spread all over the body are attacked by the T lymphocytes. They destroyed the capillaries, so the area is bleeding, occurring a red spot we call erythema. So this erythema can occur in the liver, kidney, joint tissue, and in the brain. Cause of occurring erythema on the whole body, then the erythema once occurs, the area that the capillaries are destroyed. So fresh blood is not coming, so that area is boiled. Medical word of the boil is furuncle. It is called systematic lupus erythematosus. Lupus. So it could occur on the skin, occur on the kidney, and become nephritis. Lupus nephritis. Lupus myositis. When it occurs the phenomenon on the muscle, then the muscle inflammation. So you could get disease that the muscle sore very hard. However, even Parkinson's disease, the T lymphocytes degenerate and going up to the brain. Substance called dopamine that in the brain. When the dopamine produced, endorphin gives you feeling like yay, and dopamine, oh, just like this.